Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of February. I hope you well. Did I say this was a mid-month reading? I meant to. Anyway, I'm using the Crow Tarot for you today. If you haven't seen these videos before, I structure them slightly differently to the main monthly readings in so much as we are looking for the lesson, right? It's an exercise in perspective. I think there is wisdom, or indeed a lesson, contained in every experience and interaction that we have if we are able to see it, and often we're not because we're too close to the situation. So this is about pulling out, and to that end what we're going to do is look at your energy and see where you are right now, right? What are the forces that are at play here? And then we'll pull 3 cards and we'll look at why you are there in the first place. You know, often in hindsight we can see, you know, the thread, we can see how things kind of worked out and things that we didn't really pay attention to in the here and now, how they were kind of moving us to a particular place. And like, sometimes it's trying to teach you something about yourself, sometimes it's trying to clear the way for, you know, new things to come in, sometimes it's showing you what you need to let go of. We won't really know until the cards hit the table, but then we'll close out with 3 cards of advice. So I hope that makes sense. I'm sure it will by the end of the reading. Sorry if I'm speaking very low, but it is like 5 a.m. or something like that, and everybody in my house is asleep, so I'm just trying to get on top of this because I know that these are late, and I do thank you for your patience. Obviously some of you will be aware I've got quite an unstable situation going on at the moment, and other things have had to have my attention. So let's have a look. Let's have 3 cards for Libra, please. 3 cards for Libra. Wow, there's the first one. We've got the 6 of Cups, but it's come out with the 2 of Swords, and both of these cards have come out in the reverse. This is very, very interesting. Tell me about Libra, please. Thank you. We have the 6 of Pentacles. Nice. I always feel that that's a lower echo of Libra energy anyway, right? And then we have the 3 of Wands. Okay. So Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, we like that very much because it's talking about approaching things with an open heart, right? It's allowing energy to flow in the right way, and I think that it specifically relates to this. Now, 6 of Cups and 2 of Swords, other way around, 2 of Swords, 6 of Cups. This card here talks about the past in any sort of way that you care to think about it, actually. So it doesn't tend to be recent past, it tends to be a little bit further back from there. So we can be talking about childhood, but we can also be talking about past lives in this respect too. Now that is a hankering for the past in some sort of way. Like sometimes it talks about a real deep sense of nostalgia, but not in the sense that we use it today, but in the original sense of the word, where there's this almost, you know, visceral longing for a situation in the past. But it's come up in the reverse for you, and so there is a sense now of you ceasing to look back at the past for whatever reason, or whatever it is that you've been looking back at. It feels to me like you have learned, or you've seen now what you didn't see before. And I say that because we've got this 2 of Swords here. Now this can talk about making a decision, but the characters depicted in the 2 of Swords are always blindfolded, and they're always facing away from the water, which in tarot is, you know, these emotions, but usually also facing away from the moon. And the moon is intuition. It is those things that are hidden, and it's like, I'm not going to look at those things here. And so this comes to mean for me a sense of a kind of almost willful ignorance. It's the things that you refuse to look at. When we reverse it, it then speaks to me of knowing that decisions need to be made and not turning away from those decisions anymore, right? Not ignoring all of the bits of the puzzle that come together to make that decision something that you would act on. And so these two cards together say that what you refused to see about the past, you now see, and it feels very much like you are not in the business of looking back anymore. By looking back, I mean there's a kind of sense of being tied to some past event, some sort of, you know, past situation, whether it's, you know, hankering after an old relationship, or the way that an old relationship made you feel, or whether it's some sort of childhood issue that has been kind of stalking you for a long time, right? And the avoidance of that being something that has affected your judgment at times, when we see those kind of energies at play here. But I love the fact that the next card is the Six of Pentacles, because like I said, that for me is Libra energy, although it's not. It's what will it be? It'll be Taurus energy, actually. But we've got that crow with its scales there, and it talks about bringing things back into balance. It talks about harmony being created. Sometimes it can talk about charity too. But this is providing a balance for you, right? It's finding your center place within. Within exactly where you are right now, right? When you see the ways that the past has informed you and the things that you have not looked at, you know, that sort of thing. What we've got is you considering that and then finding your place in the center of it. I love the fact that the crow's got its wings spread like that, because it does feel like it's releasing you from something, Libra. And often when we do see things that we didn't see before, that is a huge liberation, and it does change the way that we think. The last card that you've got here in your current energy is the Three of Wands, and this is very strong as a last card following on from all of these, because this is about the actions that you take. Like, all of these cards here are about your actions in the day-to-day. We haven't got any major arcana here, and these, you know, actually I feel like that's probably a good thing, because you seem to be in quite a quiet place, quite a contemplative place. But as you find your balance with what it is that you've seen about your past, or yourself in the past, you seem to be being freed up to follow that center line that is so very important for Libra to be able to navigate and start doing things differently. Because I've seen this card evolve, certainly in the last few months, to specifically talk about changed behavior. I'm not quite sure why that is, but it's the way that I'm seeing it at the moment. And what I like about this for you is that crow is staring at the star. It's almost like hope has been reborn within you, and now you are looking at the future. Now you are like doing things to move towards a goal that you've had. And this may not be, you know, I don't know, I want a new job or a new house or something like that. It may be some sort of entirely ephemeral goal, which is personal to you and you alone, in so much as like, I want to be happy. I want to hope that things can be good. You know, I want to lose these concrete boots that have been around my ankles for so long. I'm starting to lift. I'm starting to rise. It's lovely energy. And like I said, it ties in very nicely with this Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, because it does feel like a part of your emotional state has been opened up, in so much as you can access it now in a way that you could not before. You haven't got the Nine of Cups sitting behind that. I think you're thinking very clearly about what it is that you want at the moment, Libra. And I wonder if part of the revelation that you've had is that you weren't considering what you wanted. You were considering something else, whether it was what a partner would want, or a family member, or a friend, or even, you know, your boss and stuff like that. Or whether it's the kind of the weight of collective expectation on you, which you have felt like you weren't meeting at any point in the past. Now you're like, well, actually I don't need to meet it, because it's about me. You know, I need to think about me, and it's not selfish to think about me. I saw a meme on Instagram last week, and I screenshotted it, and I cannot remember the exact phrasing of it, but it said, it was something along the lines of someone who has been taught not to be confident will always see confidence as arrogance. You know, somebody who's always been taught that they must always think about others, to them thinking about themselves will feel selfish. I might repost it on my Instagram actually, but it feels like that kind of revelation that you're having here. It's just like, well, actually all of these things that I thought were negative, they're really not. They can be incredibly potent, positive forces in my life, you know? So let's have a look. Why is Libra here? Okay. Oh, this is strong. This is very strong. We've got the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and this is really important because this deals with poverty and lack, but it also deals with not meeting your own basic needs. And I wonder, Libra, if that's what you've realised, that you have not been meeting your own basic needs. Maybe you've been outsourcing them to other people, or maybe you have been indulging in the business of trying to make everybody else happy and not doing it for yourself. The reason why you are in this energy is beautiful, because there we've got the Lover's card, and we've got the Judgment card, and we've got the Knight of Wands. This is huge. The Lover's card is about conscious co-creation. It is about the choices that you make for you. It's about free will and consent. And so what we see here is you releasing yourselves from the shackles of expectations, whether they be from yourself or other people or society in general, you know, whichever way it applies to you. This is now about what you are choosing to manifest into your life moving forwards. Both of these cards, both of them individually, speak about making really big life-changing choices for yourself. You know, this is the exercising of one's judgment, but it is also casting an eye over the past. I don't think you want to manifest the past for yourself anymore. You know, it's almost like you haven't been able to release yourself from previous experiences or previous, maybe even mistakes that you've made, you know, whichever way it works for you up until this point. And there's almost like a realization that what you've been trying to manifest for yourself cannot exist within the framework of an old version of you. And that includes your responses to other people's expectations. But for some of you, it could even be in living situations and stuff like that. I mean, you know, it feels very positive. It feels like all of these moves are very positive. But it feels like things are going to change for you. This is a mindset shift that comes before the physical shift, right? What you change in your 3D environment. And we've got the Knight of Wands. Now, this card gets a bad rap because it's often associated with recklessness or thoughtlessness or a non-committal kind of energy. But on the flip side, the Knight of Wands does something that all of the others can't, and that is be purely in the moment, right? It's about spontaneity, it's about fun, it's about following you're happy, actually, you know, what really lights you up. I always feel like it's quite an autonomous card too. I guess that's right, because it's a knight, right? But there's an autonomy there. It's like, I'm going to do what makes me feel good. And honestly, it doesn't feel hedonistic. It just feels like there hasn't been enough fun in your life recently. There haven't been enough things that light you up. And you're realizing that. More than that, you're realizing that it's not selfish to want those things in your life. I think that's really good. But this, like I said, this mindset shift seems to be preempting bigger changes that you are going to be making to your life. Certainly in the next few months. You might well find that your life this time next year is not anything even remotely like. It's my alarm going off. Anything like where you are right now. This feels like it's the beginning stages of some really big transitional energy. Let's get some cards of advice. Some cards of advice for Libra, please. Wow. Good Lord. Right. So. Alright. So we have the Eight of Swords and the Four of Cups there. Now, with your mindset shift, here we've got the Eight of Swords in reverse. This is a big liberation of your mind here, Libra. With this mindset shift, I am afraid that not everybody is coming with you on this one. Right? Maybe that's part of what you've discovered, is that, you know, you're going to have to crack some eggs if you want to make an omelette. Where your priorities are, where your goals are, you know, what it is that you want for your life for the rest of time might not necessarily be in alignment with those who are around you, right? What they want for you and from you may not fit anymore, and that's okay. I really do think that that's okay, because that's a really restricted mindset. It's very narrow, and again, we've got another blindfolded character here. Well, the blindfolds are off now. Now, your mind is expanding in the way that it needs to, which is brilliant. But some people are going to interpret that as rejection of them. Libra, the important thing to remember is that's not really your issue. You know, it's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to outgrow situations. It's okay for other people to outgrow you and move in a different direction too. Eggs will be cracked, but that's okay. And we have the Emperor and we have the Empress. Now, a lot of people say that this is the power couple of the tarot, the divine masculine and divine feminine. It's Taurus or Libra for the Empress and Aries for the Emperor. And so we could see issues starting to appear potentially in a relationship that you might have with your significant other, but we could also see it potentially coming together here. It very much depends on your circumstances. I feel like the fact that the Four of Cups there is sort of suggesting that there's a pulling away more than anything else. But if we were to look at this just from an energetic perspective, this is masculine and feminine energy working together very, very strongly. So it could be that you are experiencing a reclamation of one of those types of energy. And don't forget that both of those sit within everybody. It doesn't matter what gender you are. We both have masculine and feminine energies. Perhaps you've got a reclamation of one of those coming back when you realise that you've been all out of kilter. You know, if you've been kind of experiencing toxic femininity down here in the way that you respond to things, I'm saying. So, you know, passive aggression and resentment and stuff like that. It's because there's not been enough action taken, right? Your masculine is out of balance there, and the toxic, well, the femininity side of it is doing all of the heavy lifting, right? So you bring that up into an alignment there, and it's a very, very strong alignment. Then what you've got is the ability to move forwards in a really strong, very healthy way, Libra. I think that this reading is actually, but your energy at the moment is very powerful, and so I would ask you to make sure that you are aware of what you are thinking about at any given time, right? Because your words have weight, your thoughts have weight, and because you appear to be in a state of, if not exactly right now, but certainly coming up, coming soon, coming close, a powerful manifestation energy. Make sure that you're manifesting the right things and not what you don't want. Right. Okay, Libra. I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this was helpful. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.